Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the basics of writing a business report. We have a lot of types, but today we're going to focus on the type that you guys use in your university course, whether it was business writing, writing skills, or communication skills. This report has basically four important parts. So the structure of the report is going to look like this. Four parts. The first one, as you can see over here, let me highlight this for you. It's the introduction. The first paragraph will be the introduction. Do we have to write the titles? Yes, you should write the titles, mention the titles, and then start explaining about it. What do we have, or what do we expect to write in the introduction? We state the purpose of the report. Now, when we say the purpose, we're talking about why and the reason why we need to write this report, who asked us to do it, when, and everything. For example, the aim of this report is to examine or to calculate, ascertain, or find out. The aim of this report could be to test or to observe and describe. So you got to write these in your introduction. Let's go to paragraph number 2. As you can see here, we need to professionally state where we got the information from. So how did we collect the data? How to give credibility for this report? We got to say how we collected the data. And usually we collect the data by describing how we got the information here. So we usually get the information by either, for example, a questionnaire. So you guys can use a survey, a questionnaire. You go for observation. We can examine something, and we can do some calculations if we do have some old reports or some kind of calculations or transcripts or something. So you would say, according to a survey, according to a questionnaire that has been distributed to clients, for example, upon our observation, according to the examination, and then you write down the numbers, the explanation of a graph maybe also. So you write what you have found in this paragraph, which is paragraph number 2. Let's go together the results. The results over here, the findings, should also have their own paragraph. As you can see over here, you guys have to collect and summarize the results in this one. You can start saying, for example, as you have to use these phrases to start your paragraph. You can say, our findings suggest that, or examining the data collected, we can see, or the data collected reflects this and this and that. So please focus on these phrases to start your paragraph. It's a nice way to clarify and to lead your audience or the reader to the right piece of information. Finally here, the last one would be a recommendation. Now after you examine, you analyzed, you got to go for a recommendation. This is the last paragraph, and the last paragraph should include what the bulk of your study and your recommendation. You can also just go directly to what we call a recommendation. You can start with this phrase, as a consequence, or consequently. You can also say, as a result of our studies, due to, and then go for your recommendation. Due to, as a result of the studies, consequently, we would like to recommend this and this and that. This is all about the 4 parts of the report. Let's go together to, as you can see here, to the sample. I'm going to show you a sample. We analyze it together. Now, this is the topic of the report. we're going to read together the topic. They have given you, your boss has given you a topic, or the university, let's say, your faculty professor, your local council is conducting an inquiry into the volume of visitors to the center of your town or city with a view to encouraging more people to make greater use of shops, restaurants, cafes, and entertainment facilities there. You agree to write a report describing the existing situation. So here, I believe you have to go there and go for some observation. It's an existing situation at a certain place, including factors which discourage people from coming to the city center and recommending ways of attracting more visitors. So first we got to find the problem to see what's discouraging people from coming to the city center. This is the main purpose. Then we have to go and recommend some ways to attract more visitors. Let's go together. Part number 1, introduction. Here, I'm going to talk about my first principal aim. Look what I used here. The principal aims of this report are to provide an overview of the volume of visitors. Of course, there's something else over here. And to identify, as you can see here, and to identify factors which deter people from using them. Or maybe that discourages them, the factor that discourages them from visiting the shops. That's introduction. This is the principal aim. I mentioned it over here. You can also add here, I didn't write much, I didn't develop it much, but you can also add here the date of the report and the person who asked you to write it. Let's go to part number 2. Part number 2 is the data collected. How did I collect my data? I conducted interviews with a random selection of shoppers and customers in local restaurants and cafes. So I can say that I conducted interviews, I gave surveys, and explain what kind of survey, what kind of interview over here. All right. Let's go to part 3, which is the findings. After the survey or the lots of surveys, you can introduce many surveys, questionnaire, or maybe another kind of data collection like observation to have some kind of triangulation for credibility of data. Here you can mention your findings. According to our findings, as you can see in the graph, as a result, the results of our study, you can write them over here. There was a clear vision. You talk about the results, you clarify everything, and you try to focus on the words that would lead you to the problem or to the solution. Part number 4. Part 4 is the recommendation. After analyzing the findings, you can go directly to what we say recommendation. Clearly more could be done here. Look with me. I highlighted for you the basic phrase that you can introduce in the beginning to track here. Clearly more could be done to attract people to our city center. I would make the following recommendation. You could also use, for example, the transitions or the phrases that I used up in slide number 2 when I said, or slide number 3 when I explained and I gave examples. You can use these phrases. Due to the findings, according to the graph, according to our results, as a consequence or consequently, I would make the following recommendations. And I personally suggest that you guys use bullet points in the recommendations. It's definitely it makes the life of the reader easier, and it's easier to separate the ideas. That's all. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this PowerPoint. Thank you very much, and see you in class.